November 180 Bravo Bravo, good afternoon to you. Report your altitude?
2,000 feet on 1014, Bravo Bravo.
Bravo Bravo.
Hello YouTube, Wycliffe Barrett here, Xplane dedicated. Today we're having a look at 3D Matterhorn Park. This is by Frank Denise, I hope I pronounced that right. You can get it from xplane.org. This is absolutely stunning and is one of the most incredible sceneries I've seen for a long time. Cost is $24.95, £17.65 and 20.17 euros. So a reasonable cost for what you're getting, and what you're getting is an incredible scenery package. It's one of the most detailed packages that's ever been produced for Xplane, and you can just see from these still photographs how wonderful it looks. So what do you get? You get a scenery pack that includes a territory of about 500 square kilometers on the borders between Italy and Switzerland in the Western Alps. Okay, it features the two most famous tourist resorts, which is Brühl, Slovenia in Italy, and Zermatt in Switzerland, which is the starting point for the ascension to the top of Matterhorn. Now, you've got to ask yourself, why would you buy this? And the reason why you would buy this is because it looks incredible. Now, this is not orthophoto scenery. What this is Matterhorn, which has been redrawn by hand. It's absolutely beautiful. There are some orthophotos which you can use, and there are some. There is one element of this where you can take the orthophotos out, so you don't have to use them. Zermatt and Slovenia regions have been completely rebuilt using a method of positioning polygon textures appropriately designed for the characteristics of the territory without the use of orthophotos. So basically these are textures that have been hand placed over the Matterhorn and the surrounding area. It includes two small airfields, Slovenia Airfield and Tach Zermatt, for short flights with small aircraft. There are a number of helipads all dotted around. There's more than 10 in fact for takeoff and landing, and you'll get a list of the ICAO codes with the scenery. The Matterhorn was reconstructed on a DEM digital elevation model at 5 meters and subsequently processed. Textures are based on 4K for greater realism, but it's only a summer scenery. So basically, when you're in the villages, when you take off from the village below, it is based on summer and not winter. So as I fly around the peak of the Matterhorn here, you can see that the mountain itself is covered in snow. But down in the valley, of course, it's nice and lush and green because it's created in summertime. And this is fairly relevant for those of you who've got TerraMAxx, and I'll explain more in a little while, because we're also going to have a look at TerraMAxx in this two-part video. But in the meantime, just look at this. I'm not the best helicopter pilot in the world, but somehow I managed to get to the peak of the Matterhorn mountain here, and it does look absolutely breathtaking. No two ways about it. This is absolutely stunningly beautiful, and it's on a default mesh as well, so there's no UHD4 or anything like that. That's just completely default. But I mean, it's absolutely incredible. I don't think the nearest I've seen to this was the UK VFR scenery around Snowdon, which was really done. But that was photographic scenery. This is just default, so you know it doesn't affect anything. Look at the mountains in the distance there, because that is very important. As we move to the second part of the video, which is regarding TerraMAxx from Max XP and X Aviation. So Max XP, they're the developers of TerraMAxx, and you can purchase it through xaviation.com. And well, what TerraMAxx is snow. Well, it's not snow, it's seasons in actual fact. You get 3 seasons, but 2 types of winter. Okay, I'll try and explain this, but the picture you can see here is of gosh, I've forgotten. I think it might be Hamburg. I can't quite remember, but anyway, here's TerraMAxx. When you install it, you get that little dialogue, and there are 4 seasons there. The spring, sorry, there's not spring. There's summer, autumn, moderate winter, and deep winter. Okay, now I'm just loading in the winter textures, and as you can see here, that was Innsbruck. Now look, you see how you've got snow down the sides there of the mountains, but way off into the distance, all the mountains are covered in snow. Now, there's a couple of things here I need to tell you about, and I'm not going to talk too much about the technical aspects of TerraMAxx, but as you can see, we're flying around the Matterhorn here, and you can see down in the valley there, that is a summer texture, and when you put TerraMAxx winter on, unfortunately it stays like that. But as you look off into the distance, you see all the mountains are covered in snow, and those are default mountains, so there's no orthophoto scenery on those mountains, and that is why they are covered in snow. The Matterhorn and the valley below there to the right, and the one on the left of the screen, they have been redrawn in summer textures, and that's why you see the little bits of snow coming in on the edges there. So, and as I come into land here, you can see that it is clearly summer. All right, now then, there's the four options, which are summer, autumn, moderate winter, and deep winter. All right, and there is also something known as auto. Now, if you have auto on, if you fly from somewhere where there is no snow to a latitude where there is snow, so for example, if I flew from Cardiff where there was no snow, but I flew to Oslo where there is snow, at some point or another, the simulator is going to stop. TerraMAxx is going to load in the textures, and it can take up to 5 minutes to load those textures in, which is not very good at all. Now, it is only an option, and I had a long conversation with Frank Kane last night on Skype. No, not on Skype, on Facebook. We had a voice conversation, and he told me quite a few things. Now, as the rest of the video plays here, I'm going to Oslo, and as you can see, this is Oslo with winter textures, but the airport itself has not been built to feature those. Now, it's also photo scenery as well here at Oslo, so there's orthophoto scenery, and you can see that the snow at some point or another stops, and that's where the orthophoto scenery begins. So the snow will not go over orthophoto scenery. So you know, there are tools available for developers whereby they can create their airports with snow, and Aerosoft has just released Zurich, I believe, in the last few days, with that ability. Okay, so you can see there the orthophoto of Oslo, and then the snow, you know, applying itself to the edges of the orthophoto. All right, now I was talking to John Spahn, and what he was saying is he's hoping in the near future that eventually what will happen is that scenery files will load ahead of time. So if I was flying from Cardiff and there was no snow to Oslo where there is snow, what will happen is that the scenery files, the snow files, will load in ahead of time, so that when I get there, there will be snow there, and we will get rid of that, you know, 5-minute load time. It's a limitation of Xplane, but Frank Kane and John Spahn are working very, very closely with Laminar to get that to work. Now, I've moved to Hamburg here to show you something else, right? This is a default airport probably from the Xplane gateway. Okay, so this is Hamburg with snow. Look at it, the whole city there. But then we look at the airport, and the grass, which is default grass, is covered in snow. You see that? All the taxiways are clear and the aprons are clear, but the airport grass is covered in snow. And also, if you look at the area along the sides of the runway, you'll see that it looks quite bumpy. The snow looks bumpy. Those are the normals, the normal maps, as John was explaining to me, and that's what creates that bumpiness there. Now, it's an option, and if you don't like it, then I think it's something that can be discussed with John through the forums, and he will sort something out, you know, whereby it's smooth if you want it smooth, or you can just use the non-normal maps. Okay. But what John did tell me last night in a very lengthy conversation is that he and Laminar are working very, very closely together to work things out. And basically what he was saying to me is, look at TerraMAxx as being, at the moment, TerraMAxx 1.0, so very similar to what SkyMax was like in the very beginning. Now, something that did occur during the week whilst I was away on vacation was that somebody was saying, oh, it's pink, it looks like magenta, there's a magenta hue, and if you take off post FX, and I'm messing around with it there, I'm clicking it on and off, you can see how that changes. Now, John was telling me once again that this is an option, it's just an option available for users, but he recognises that the way that things look is very subjective. In other words, people will like it with post FX on, others will not. But he also said there are lots of options available to manage the way that it looks. You know, there's Reshade, there's Max FX, there's a couple of other options out there, how you can manage the way that everything looks. I've just got it all at default. I'm using default Xplane settings, and I kind of like it. But I also like post FX on as well, so you get that magenta kind of pinkish hue in the snow. But anyway, it's all subjective, and it's entirely up to you. So my opinions about this is that this is a plausible approach, and it's the simplest way of being able to get seasons in. It's a plausible approach. My advice, do not use the auto button. Choose a season and then stick with it. So, you know, if it's winter time, just click winter and then that'll be it. Do not use the auto option because it's going to cause you more problems than it's worth. As I said before, the price is $39.95 in dollars, £28.26 in sterling, and $32.33 in euros. We'll see you soon.